Welcome back, everyone, to the SmackDown Motel. It's a lovely, lovely Saturday evening here with my friend Bren. Look, lots to talk about for tonight. We have SmackDown. We also have a big injury on the list as well that we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about some of it. Is somebody want to get rid of SmackDown, maybe, or did he want to keep SmackDown? We'll have that on the agenda as well. We'll also be talking about a certain someone that's going to be coming back to the WWE, Mr. CM Punk. Where's he going to end up? Is it Raw or SmackDown? We'll be talking about that. We also be talking about a certain watch along as well. And also as well, we have a big announcement that we are finally setting a date for, but we'll get to that at the end. We'll keep you waiting in suspense. But before we start off with the show, Brent, how are you, my friend? How are you doing today?
Very good. Hey, let's just tell them now. We have set a date. Me and Keith will be getting married on the 7th of September. I'm only messing.
Las
No, I'm only
Vegas.
messing.
Everything
I'm
goes.
only messing. I'm all good. Look, the thing I do to say about SmackDown, obviously, and we've got some good stuff, some good discussion coming up, some ups and downs. But as Ronan Keaton says, life is a roller coaster, and boy, Jesus, so is watching SmackDown.
So I was about to say that, Jesus Christ, yeah. But look, I couldn't ask for a better person to talk about SmackDown with than yourself on a Saturday afternoon. What else would we be doing, Bran, at this time of night? It's not
Well,
like
you
we
give
have a
you a
World
list of
Cup to
about
watch, you know.
give you a list of about 45 things. I mean, there's a World Cup watch along after this. You know what I mean? Everybody else is out enjoying themselves doing this. I'm only messing. Yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's just get
Yeah.
straight into it.
Oh, there was a little teaser there. Who's injured there? But go on, you might as well show it now. Thanks, Bran. Yeah, look, this was mentioned at the top of SmackDown. Anyways, it's Rhea Ripley is injured, an undisclosed injury at the moment. We don't know how long she's going to be out for. Obviously, we heard it's a knee, but hopefully she's not going to be out for too long. Hopefully, she'll be back in time for SummerSlam and all the other events as well. We wish her a speedy recovery, though. But, Brian, do you have anything to say about this yourself?
Yeah, look, I mean, as you said, like the extent of the injury is undisclosed, which basically means we don't know whether it's serious enough to make sure she's out long term, or it's not as serious enough she can do a Jade and not defend it for 60 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
inevitably, let's just hope she's all right. I love Rhea Ripley. I think she's one of the biggest stars that not just that WWE have. She's one of the biggest stars in the wrestling industry right now. So let's just hope the injury isn't as serious or isn't that serious because they don't know what to suspect just yet. So let's see what happens.
yeah. Because she should be a huge loss, won't she, Brian? Like if she's going to be out for a significant amount of time, like especially in SmackDown, where they're in dire need of some star power on that roster.
100%.
We speak, But before we get into SmackDown, let's take a couple of comments, anyways, before we get in.
Alrighty.
Sharon, even your favorite, yeah, favorite human beings here today, Sharon.
She said
Um,
fabulous. We're not
oh,
her
sorry,
favorite.
sorry, it could be our favorite. Sorry,
I know. I've met
sorry,
Ando. I've met Leanne. We're definitely not our favorites.
sorry, I fumbled my words there. Evening, lads, what's the crack with you, man? How are you? How are you, lads? Smash them likes up. Exactly, smash those likes up. We can get everyone to watch this. Enjoyed SmackDown. You know what? It had its good points and bad points, but we will be talking about it. Did you see Dennis Knight in the crowd? No, actually, I didn't see him at all. Did you see him, Brent?
No, Naked Midian was in the crowd.
No, I
One
wouldn't
of the
see him.
one of the one of the Godwin brothers. Well, let's just
Yeah,
hope
this
he was
was he.
wearing clothes. Let's just
Oh
hope
God, jeez,
he
don't
was
don't bring
wearing
that up,
clothes.
now, friend. We don't need to know that.
Oh man. Hey, well, Naked Midian was a gimmick. It was legit for a while.
I
I
know he
didn't I
was.
didn't, but I'll certainly be going back.
Sharon, I did not think it was the worst. Look, we'll be going into it, Sharon. Good points and bad points. What's the crack, lads? Reggie, what's the crack? How are you doing, lad?
That's all she wrote.
Right. Let's talk about SmackDown. Let's get it into it. So the first one, the opener of it all, Cody comes in backstage and then he's confronted then by the Usos. Jay says to him that he wants to take his title and he wants to have a shot at it and win the King of the Ring. Going, yeah, and then like basically after that, then Cody says to him, "Are you sure it's you that wants to go for the title? It's not Roman Reigns asking you to go for the title." Good little ending there, the backstage segment, and then which leads into Jade Cargill. But before we do that, what did you make of the start of the brand?
Yeah, man, it was clever. It was clever. Cody is always electric. one of the greatest wrestlers in the world today across any promotion, was electric. I loved Cody here, and it was really, really good chatting with the Usos, and a foreshadowed kind of the end. But I have my theory on it as to what's going to happen, or what's rumored anyway. And let's just say Jay probably isn't going to get the title match. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's just say somebody else might. Right. So we'll get to
Well,
that towards the end.
I have my theory anyway when it comes to this, him with the King of the Ring, but we'll get to that point anyways. So anyways, there was a backstage segment then with Jade Cargill and the Goon Squad, as I like to call them. Did a little promo and all that, yeah, and then
Next.
obviously Charlotte came out looking like $1,000,000 as always. You know what? The Fatal 4-Way match itself, Bren, with Sol Ruka and Lyra Valkyria and obviously Jade, I actually really enjoyed this match. I really, really did enjoy this Fatal 4-Way. They have yet to disappoint with a Fatal 4-Way for the King of the Ring. Really enjoyed it. But
Mhm.
you know what? We've solved the mystery. We've solved the clue. Was that a wig? Was that not a wig on Jay Cargill? Well, we found
Oh,
out during the match.
Jesus.
We found out during the match. And I
Oh,
copped
my God.
onto it straight away. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, that cannot be real. I had to rewind it. So I thought it was fake. We watched it. But
Right.
look, good match. Enjoyed it. Predictable outcome. What did you make of all of this?
Well, it was my first correct prediction. Let's just say it's a good thing that I'm not part of that low blows prediction league. They have a prediction league, low blows. They're the other guys. They do great work for the Woolshed and all that cool people, all that stuff. And I'm not part of that prediction league, because if I was, I'd be last. I'd probably be kicked out of the league, maybe demoted down to bloody Division 9, something along the lines of that. Listen, here's the thing, right? There's something I want to say about this, right? This was a good match, right? I think we need to stop obsessing over botches, right? I get it. She wears a wig, and it was kind of like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. She's wearing a wig. I get
I
it,
thought it
right?
was funny. I thought it was funny, to be honest.
However, I do think people making a big deal out of it. I think it's clickbait, low rate, sorry excuse for so-called journalism. Because that was one of the main headlines, and that's what pissed me off about it. I don't mind people talking about it because it was something I was like, whoa, but it took it. You'd swear that was the only thing that happened in the match. And let's face it, Jade Cargill's been doing really good, and I wouldn't mind having her as the US champ. There, I said it, but we'll get to that. But either way, look, the match in itself was good. I thought the wig thing, I was like, what? I was like Martin King wishing people a happy birthday on the weather. Oh, hey, 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 happy birthday. All that stuff.
Do you know
But
what?
yeah, no,
She had a lot of momentum though, Jay Cargill in this match. Do you know, like, do you know
100%,
if you know what I mean?
100%,
Do you know?
100%. Yeah.
She did all
Uh,
right for this.
I think she looked pretty cool. Remember, we spent months bashing the bejesus out of how Jade Cargill should be a better wrestler. She should go back to the drawing board. She should be this. Well, guess what? She didn't show us. She listened. She went out and she did exactly that. And for that, much respect. I hope the ball isn't dropped. Absolutely phenomenal.
I just think at this point, Brent, she needs to get away from Meechin and BFAB at this point. To be honest with you, I'm just not a favor of it. I didn't like it from the start. I just think it's pointed just like just get rid of them, you know. But the problem is though as well, what are you going to do with the two girls after that once they do separate? Are they going to be on the chopping block, or are they actually going to do something with them eventually?
Probably not.
Who knows?
Probably not.
Well, look, there was a backstage segment anyway with Tiffy Stratton and with BFAB and Meechin that we were talking about. But I thought it was hilarious when fucking Chelsea Green came in here with the Nintendo stick.
It was very good. It's just a shame about the match that followed later on in the night. That's all I'll say. It
Yeah,
was very good. I
yeah.
love Chelsea Green. I love Tiff Stratton. I have my BFAB is cool. Meechin is cool. Unfortunately, they're not hitting it at the moment for me. But look, the match wasn't good enough later on, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, look, we'll get to that. But there was another backstage segment as well with the Usos and Jacob Fatu, and they're asking Jacob what's he doing here, and then obviously vice versa, they're going at it a bit there. But then also later on, then it was Solo and Jacob as well. But we'll get to that part too of what
Hmm.
happened there. But let's take a couple of comments before we get to the next match, because it was a tag women's match.
All righty.
Danhausen,
Danhausen.
that was shocking. Yeah, we'll get to that one. All right.
Get
I
it.
get it. You two are my
Oh,
favorite humans.
man.
Well, thanks very much, Sharon. You know, we do try.
No, we're better than
Uh,
the other crowd. We're much better than the other crowd. Yes.
yeah, who's the other crowd? Fuck the other
Mm.
crowd. Charlotte's intro in terms of Jade's backstage was funny. Bran, I sent you a voice note on what I was thinking going to happen. Yeah,
We'll get to that, Anto, my friend. I'll let you know.
I think Jade will win the King of the Ring and face Cody for the title, depending on what happens with Sammy being the referee for the Gunther match.
Oh,
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio, when the wig came off of it.
that's what he's
Yeah.
talking about, isn't it? Yeah.
Lads, Chelsea Green, Ingrid Gear was banging. I'm not going to disagree. Danto, I'm not going to disagree. Chelsea was dead. Look, she's brilliant. It's just a pity that they don't take her that seriously, to be honest with you, But Brie Bella has some good parts of her
We'll get to
match.
that.
We'll get to that as right. Well, look, we might as well get to that. That's the next topic, anyways, which is the tag of women's match.
Before we do, Keith, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, before we get to that, there was a segment with Blake Monroe, right? And
Yeah.
it was Blake Monroe is coming soon, right? Now, I know it was forgettable because it's every week and it's a flash in the pan. And for me, looking at that, I just want to get this off my chest. Is Blake Monroe going to be the new? Do you remember the WWE superstar Emma?
Emma.
Emma, she did this for weeks. I'm coming. Now I'm going to be somebody else. I'm coming, and I'm gone. Or what about that guy that was meant to show up on Raw every week? He was meant to, for a good 6 months, he's showing up, and now he's a monk somewhere. Now he's a monk. Absolutely ridiculous.
I have
What
my
do you think?
theories on this. I have my theories on this brand. I just think they don't know what to do with her yet. They have no creative plan for her. They have no creative anything for her. They're just putting this out and just hoping to have something down the line and just throw it at the fucking wall and see if it sticks. Why did they bring her out a couple of weeks ago for a 10 or 30-second backstage segment? And then obviously again, oh, we're gonna go back and not do anything with her after this. It makes no sense. I feel for this girl. I say she's probably annoyed. She's probably wanting to get going and have someone to face, to be honest with you. But we're getting this malarkey each week, like we do with Johnny G as well, but we'll get to him as well at some stage,
We'll
But
get
it's
to a
stupid,
lot.
it's a stupid brand. At this point in time, just bring the girl out, do something with her. There's bundles of talent out on that roster that you can be facing right now, instead of another promo for like 20 seconds that we're getting from her, Well, promo package.
Agreed.
But look, we agreeing on that. Let's go and talk about another match that I don't particularly enjoy watching, and it was a tag women's match. Brie Bella and Paige against the Fatal Influence. This one, Brian, look, it is what it is. They don't really care much about these tag title women's belts, let's be honest with you at the moment, in my opinion. Fatal Attraction, Fatal Influence. Again. No, it's
I love Michael Douglas. I love Michael Douglas. Go on, anyway.
It rolls off the tongue,
big bunny boiler. Go on, you big bunny boiler. Get up out of that. Go on, if you know.
Fatal Influence. Look, listen. I was talking to Dave about this today. I can't really get behind these girls. Just something about I'm not really sticking behind them at the moment. Oh, the three, yeah, JCJ looks the best out of the three. To be honest with you, might have a chance, but she has to show me a bit more. They all have to show me a bit more. I'm not really stoked about these girls at the moment. I know Sean O is a big fan of them, but to be quite honest with you, this match didn't really care for it that much because look, there's nothing to build on this match. There's nothing. They're doing nothing with these girls at the moment, And going forward, are they going to do much with them? I'm hoping so because I would like for them to do something with the tag division. Give it something, but for the love of God, I've said it before, get Paige away from the Bellas and have her do her own thing.
100%.
That's what I want to see happening. She's just been wasted there with Brie Bella. And how another thing as well, Brian, Jesus Christ, how long is Nikki Bella going to be out for? She's been out since after May.
I think I think she's back soon. And look, that's what's affecting this, by the way. Right, that's what's affecting this, in my opinion. I can't confirm that. Look, this was okay. The finish was the best part of the match, and that it was cool.
Yeah.
I like the creativity behind it. I do disagree with you though. I do think that Fallon Henley and Lainey Reid were very good here, and I do like Fatal Influence, and I like them from my Bren XT days. The reason they're not doing anything, in my opinion, is they're waiting on Nikki Bella to come back. And until then, what you're going to have is a nothing female tag team title run. That's what you're going to have. It's going to mean nada, nothing, zilch. And
Mm.
unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be. And then when Nikki does come back, it's the predictable. Oh, well, we can do the Freebird thing. Oh, babysitters club. Oh, look at us. We're all sisters. We're all this. Nikki, bam, turns on Paige. And then eventually Paige does her thing.
But you know what, Bren? I don't think people are going to get behind this. I really don't. Because I just think it's a wasted storyline going forward. Because the people aren't a big fan of Bella's either way. You know, I know
No,
certain someone Sean always, but like I like Paige. I think she's good. I think she's good in the ring. I would like for her to have a singles run against like this is at this point in time, Brent. Paige is in front of a plethora of amazing women's roster
great
that she
point.
can have an absolute
Great
amazing
point.
amazing wrestling matches with and storylines with. But why are we absolutely throwing her in the garbage with these fucking bellas that can't put a headlock or a wrist lock together?
I agree
Let's
with
be
you
honest.
completely. Paige should be off doing her own thing. She should be on her solo run, and she should be riding off into the sunset, having some really good matches with some really good people, giving
Yeah,
them the rub, maybe even give her another little title run because Paige she was a great, she's an absolute super talent, one of a really amazing women's wrestler, and to me, she deserves better than this. But what all this has done is she's been rubbed by the Bella magic in that she's deflated. It
yeah.
has deflated her run, and anything she does now, going the longer she's locked in this, anything she does going forward is just it's not going to matter. In my opinion, it's simply
No.
not going to matter, and that's what's happening there. Look, they're waiting on Nikki Bella to return, and when that happens, the storyline's going to be very predictable. And what you're going to have is you're going to have Paige, who again should be like she's going to have to carry the Bellas through. I mean, look, Sharon did say that Brie Bella did some good things. We've always said that Brie Bella is the better out of the two Bellas anyway. And in a tag team match, you're very well protected. And I did say a few weeks ago she had a bit of a good showing, but it's still not good enough. It's not good enough because even if you compare her to Jade in the Fatal Four Way, she's brutal, brutal. Like Jade has been absolutely outstanding lately. So look, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, look, we'll leave it there. It's our 2 cents. But hopefully, Nikki Bella comes back soon and we can just get this rivalry going and just be done with after that, then hopefully. But let's see what happens. But we'll do a quick little backstage. There was Gunther with Nick Aldis, anyways. And we were trying to figure out what the match stipulation was, and he was going to give us a clue on what is going to happen. But he said he would leave it on and later on tonight. He's going to have a think about this. And then
Yeah.
we got another segment later on about it, which is basically it's Sami Zayn's going to be the special guest referee. What did you make of this brand going forward anyway?
Well, I'll jump. I'll jump a little bit, and then we'll get back to it. But the reality of it is, this should have been done as Sammy and Cody had a promo in the ring later on, and after the couple of clatters that happened, the music should have hit. Aldis should have come out. Gunter should have come out, and it should have been done. And we should have seen Cody's reaction, and they should have had a little promo there. Cut a little bit off SmackDown, save time, add quality as well,
Yeah,
quality over quantity here, and that's what would have made that better. But unfortunately, it was backstage segment very lackluster because let's face it, everyone was like, "What?" The main thumbnail for this week's show was, "What's the stipulation? What is it?" And then we get like it was the equivalent of a bleeding whisper, like me whispering something to you. How are you, Keith?
it's like equivalent of a moth farting, and you just fucking is like, oh wow, like really, you
Look, Keith,
know,
that's probably the weirdest thing you've ever said in the podcast, but we'll leave that, right?
it's the only thing that came through my mind. So
I'm already messing. I'm already messing. But yeah, look, it is what it is. And look, we'll talk about it because this is the main thumbnail for Pro Wrestling Weekly coming to you live this Tuesday, 8 o'clock. But we'll touch on that in
Mhm.
a few minutes.
Yeah, look, before we get to the next segment, anyways, let's take a couple of comments before we go on. Anto, we never pulled the trigger on the girls turning on Jade. It would have been good. Yeah, to be honest, I think that should have happened at WrestleMania, in my opinion. And you guys know I'm not a Bella fan at all. Look, you
We
preaching to the
do.
choir. We're not Bella fans either. May go on a mad one and do Raw as well as SmackDown as they dropped the big
So,
prices for those breaks.
Anto's going to the SmackDown taping in London, which has been taped on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is, I may do Raw as well. Do
I
you,
wonder which day.
Anto? Do it.
Anto,
Anto,
yeah,
how much
let's
are
know
they?
how
How
much it
much are
is.
they? Because Keith might fly
Um,
over witches.
mm, Anto, I think, yeah, it beats the length of the absence while still signed. Yeah, to be honest with you, Bianca Belair, yeah. Yeah, Keith, if it drags out, people lose interest, and when it finally happens, it's like, man, let's see, I think it's getting to that point as well. Like, I know Nikki Bella and all that, but like, she can't really help it, she's still injured. But I just think it's going to fall flat in its face, really. Anto, anyone knew the minute special referee was said who it was? Yeah, it was going to be Sami Zayn.
£100.
It's not bad, to be honest with you. You know,
Well,
how
considering
dear
I
you
pay,
get to it.
considering I paid £30 as the due went out for the nosebleeds for AEW for the upper tier, if you will, for AEW All In at the end of August. So there's still a bit of a discrepancy in the pricing, and I do think the quality doesn't match the pricing at the moment, but people are still going to buy it. Sorry for waffling on there.
Well, look, speaking of someone that waffles on backstage and waffles to the same person each week backstage, Sami Zayn was backstage against Johnny G. Yet again, we got another pointless backstage segment with these two. That there was no bottles being thrown this week, Bram, surprisingly enough. Whenever there was
No
a bottle
bottles.
saved. But yeah, what did you make of this? Anyways, we won't have to touch too much on this, but what did you make?
Look, it is what it is. I mean, it's like it's again that they've dragged this out a bit too much. However, I want to take a bit of a personal moment, if I can indulge just for a second, right? Um, right now in Australia, it's the 14th of June. I've got a friend called Johnny G, not the same Johnny G. So, and it's his 40th birthday, one of the best guys I know.
Happy
Johnny
birthday.
G, happy birthday in Australia, my man. I miss you. I can't wait to see you in person again. It'll happen soon. Had to take that moment because he's genuinely one of the best guys I know. So, Johnny G, happy 40th birthday, and I hope you have an amazing day over there. I was going to say up there, but it's down south in Australia. Happy birthday, man, and I'll see you soon. Anyway, look, the segment was what it was. It was just basically a push for Zayn to, yeah, I'll do something about it, and then that was it. So we'll see what happens.
Look, they just need to get rid of this completely. But look, hopefully it'll end sooner rather than later. But look, dude, this next segment, anyways, it was probably my highlight of the whole night, to be quite honest with you, was Danhausen and with the Miz as well. And the Miz coming in like a fucking fried, crispy critter. It was fucking hilarious looking. And he's just repeating his famous catch lines. And then Kit Wilson is there. I know there was, Matt Riddle and, sorry, no, not Matt Riddle, sorry.
Whoa!
Cardona, sorry. Jeez, I'm fumbling my words today. Matt Cardona, I meant to say, and all that was there. But to
Yeah.
be honest with you, it was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious. And then he's getting electrocuted and you get a sparks flying at the end. And then he says, "Awesome."
So
It was fun.
Noel said something very interesting today in the chat. I think it needs to be said, right? Because I think Noel knows wrestling better than I would say anybody that I know, right? So although we disagree on a lot, I do understand where he's coming from. Noel said, if the best thing to happen on SmackDown is a Danhausen segment, SmackDown was a shit show. Right now these are Noel's words, and I'm paraphrasing them. He didn't say them in so many words, but he said it shouldn't be the best thing on a wrestling show. But he also complimented Danhausen. He said Danhausen should have his own show. And look, I agree with that. I was a fan of the Munsters growing up. I was a fan of that kind of thing. So that's what he kind of said today. And you just said there, Keith, and again, nothing wrong with it. You said Danhausen, this was my favorite moment of SmackDown. And a lot of people feel that way. What does that say? If a moment about a character who is an 1800s horror character electrocuting people and they're saying their own, and he's going to do his own Frankenstein, which could be Baron Corbin, right?
Yeah.
What does that say about the rest of SmackDown? Now, I just want to put that out there into the ether, right? That's what he said, right? Um, and look, he's got a point. If your favorite part of SmackDown was Danhausen, it probably wasn't a great wrestling show overall, right?
It doesn't reflect great on the show, Brent. It doesn't reflect greatly. No, look, I'm not putting Danhausen down by any means. Look, he's been doing a fantastic job, and they booked him really, really well throughout everything that he's been doing with him. But I just feel like if you're relying on a comedy character to get your show over, and not your main stars, the likes of the Rorans, the Cody Rhodes, the Gunthers,
Hmm.
and if they're not going to get over, and the little sidekick character is going to get over, it goes to show you that the show is not doing its utmost best, is it, at the moment?
And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. And
Yeah,
in a few minutes, we're going to talk about that because our friend Ribshot gave us a topic last week, and I think it's interesting. It's far out there, but it's interesting. Ribshot isn't here tonight, obviously, by the looks of things. So we'll
well,
have to. I'll have to pull him up on that. Not pull him up on that apparent, but I'd like to know his opinion on what we said anyway. But we will touch on it in a few minutes. But yeah, look, the Danhausen segment was pretty cool. He's. I'm so happy for him. I really am. So I leave it there.
we'll leave it there. But no, obviously, we had another segment in the ring, which was your favorite, Cody Rhodes and the carpet muncher
Ah,
himself, Sami Zayn.
yeah.
Um, well, look, all joking aside, it was a pretty decent promo. I quite enjoyed it. He was trying to antagonize Cody to get the truth out of him, be honest, and he eventually did get the truth out of Cody. And then obviously he didn't like the truth. Sami Zayn didn't, so he got a slap in the face and then a
Hmm.
slap in the back. I like the
Look,
start of it. The end of it was a bit weak, I thought, to be honest with you. But overall, look, I don't know where this is heading to between these two. Are they just going to have a match at Saudi, or are they going to have a match? Where are they going? What are they doing here with these guys?
I know where it's heading to. He's a special guest referee of the match next week. That match is going to get conflundered. That's going to be a triple threat match in Saudi, and Cody's losing then. Cody's losing the belt at Night of Champions, and he's either going to
Gotcha.
lose to Gunther or Sammy, right? And that's what's going to happen. I think he's more likely to lose it to Gunther. Maybe Sammy will get it. I know he's pretty big in Saudi. I doubt it, but that's what I think is happening. Look, here's the thing: the best feuds often have a degree of truth in them, right?
Yeah.
And that's you'll see what I'm laughing at now in a second, right?
I
The
saw
be-
it.
the best feuds always have a degree of truth in them, right? Sammy didn't tell a lie. He brought up a great point. He said, "Look, everybody that stood with you at WrestleMania 40, like, for want of better words, they think you're a prick, right? Right? Now, Sammy's acting like a prick. He's denying being a prick. This ended in clatters, and Sammy goes for the chair, and he's like, "Will I? Won't I? Will I? Won't I?" And that's the tease. And I thought this was very well done. I liked the little kind of clatters in the end. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Well, it was a very. Niall's gonna kill me for this. Very Roddy Piper, Steve Austin esque at WrestleMania 21. I'm only joking, but it was cool, and it's a nice little setup. Do we know what's going to happen on Night of Champions? No, and this is not a bad position to be in. So to me, this was a great segment. I thought it was really well done. I do think the end of it could have been better, and I do think that's where Sammy should. That this is where Gunter should have come down at the end of this, with Nick Aldis, and he said, "Right, Sammy, you get your referee T-shirt next week. You're going to be doing special guest referee. See the welfare. You're going to do it. Shut your mouth." Sammy looks like kind of like, okay, and then he says, "Best of luck, Cody," and walks off. That would have saved the little crappy backstage segment then later on. That's what I think should have happened. In saying that, look, it was a good segment, but rest was very, very good.
That's why I thought it was a bit, yeah, it was a bit weak at the end. Like it was a good little build up to it with the slaps and all that, and he was sorry for the slap, as you were saying. But yeah, look, I just thought it was a very weak end, and they could have done a bit better with that. But look, going forward, then we had another backstage segment then with Solo and Jacob Fatu. I thought it was an interesting segment backstage. Look, I'm
Very.
growing each week with liking Solo a lot more. Throughout the last about a good few years, good few months ago, I wasn't really the biggest Solo fan, but do you know what? He's kind of grown to me a lot lately, and I know Niall likes him a lot, but do you know what? He actually put a really good promo this weekend, sorry, in the show with Jacob Fatu, and basically he was saying that he's not the same animal that he
Yeah.
used to be, he's not the same killer that he used to be, and that he said like, what happened to you and all this? You're just Roman Reigns is lackey, and but he said as well, which is very interesting. Jacob ended up saying to him was like, "Well, the tribal chief wants you back in family. So does this mean that Solo's going to be on the show this week on Raw, and they're going to have a confrontation? Because we know Roman Reigns is going to be back this week, so it'll be interesting to see where they go forward with this. And what happens with Jacob Fatu as well? Is this all the ploy? Is this all just like a plan for Jacob as the team with the bloodline and then turn on him eventually? What do you make of this, anyways, Bren, overall in the backstage segment?
Solo was man of the match, right? I loved Cody and I loved and I loved Sammy, but Solo Sikoa was man of the hour here, right?
Very good. Yeah,
Because he
very good.
cut a great promo then later on in the night. With Royce Key saying, "Look, I just don't want you to be a casualty. You know what I mean? Whether
Mhm.
you're fighting with me or you're fighting against me." Solo Sikoa was one of the best stars of the show here, and like that, he's developing week on week. We've seen this very earlier on at the live shows when he be winding the crowd up, and that's what they're leaning into. And look, you're right. Niall always says it. Like he said it for a while, and he's bang on, right? So yeah, look, I thought this was very, very good, and my only issue is for the bloodline, are they going back to the well too many times? Is it going to get to a point that's like, oh, cool. Like
Chance, yeah.
I did a short there during the week on another Simone coming into the WWE to inject themselves into the potential bloodline. And the question is, are they going to the well too much? And I think that's another discussion, maybe for a longer format show like Pro Wrestling
Mhm.
Weekly. But it is
Yeah.
interesting, and that's what. Look, this was great, but they could be going to the well too much for the bloodline, and that's my take on that.
Yeah, no, it could be, but it's interesting to see now Solo going to have an interaction with Roman on Monday, which it probably, I imagine, it will lead to. And yeah, it'd
Mm.
be interesting to see going forward. And as well as that, though, are they actually trying to turn Solo face now, by the looks of it? Because it was more of a face
I
promo, he thought.
I don't think they're trying anything. I think what's happening is, well, maybe they are, but some guys get the job done themselves. Some guys
Yeah,
naturally have it. I think you look at all the clips are increasing of Solo Sikoa online being deadly, right? And I think what's happening is very, very sim not the same, obviously, but similar kind of in motion what happened to The Rock, right? People hate die Rocky die to oh my god, Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. Now obviously it's not on the same levels, but that's the point. Solo Sikoa is getting himself over. The
yeah.
machine isn't getting him over. He's doing a better job than the machine is. So to me, Solo Sikoa is doing the job himself. And whether WWE like it or not, this man's gonna get over. That's it.
Yeah, and it's a possibility, but I do think he needs to get away from the MFT as soon as possible, to be quite honest with you, and just go on his own.
Yep.
And I think he'll have a good upper mid cards. Maybe, who knows, down the line, he might end up having a WWE title shot down the line, depending on how big he gets. But at the moment,
We'll
he's doing
see.
a fantastic job. He really is.
Yep.
But let's take a couple of comments, anyways, before we get on to the next
Let's
match,
do it.
anyway. Anto, live show, Raw, yeah, I agree with you, Brian, but the live shows are better than watching it afterwards. Yeah.
100%.
And so, lads, Johnny G thinks it's fucking bollocks going on last 8 months. It feels longer, to be honest with you. Reggie 1-0 to Switzerland, 100%. Yep. Anthony, what do you think of Danhausen? Awesome. Look, we've touched on it. It was really, really fun. What's the crack, man, Baz? How are you? Evening, lads. What's the crack?
Good to see you, Baz.
There's the main man himself. Hello, ladies. In my better face.
Yeah, get in there.
Yes, Val Venus. Oh, yeah, look. It can be a bit of Sean Morley, can you? Solo should be on his way. Sorry, on his own. People forget Solo ran the Bloodline for 9 months and had a Bloodline match against Cody in 2024. That was when Jacob came in, wasn't it? In
Yeah.
that match, as far as I remember. Bonkers, what's the crack, Bonkers? Is it Jay Oba in the final or Brock interference Monday night? It could be. Yeah, I'd say probably Brock would interfere.
If Brock isn't interfering, then he's interfering in the final. Obafemi will not be king of the ring. My Jesus, that clip's going to be played back to me in
I
a week.
think they're going to hold
Wait
it.
a minute. Wait a minute. I'm
Uh,
sorry to interrupt you. This just in, not this just in.
Breaking
He's just
news.
in.
Oh, Jesus. Look who it is.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Niall, how are you? What a great surprise this is. I wasn't expecting this, by the way. How are you, man? You all right? Well, what's the crack? Talk to us.
You hear me, yeah?
Say, save
can
us
hear
Y2J.
you.
Save us, Y2J. What's going on? We can hear you. Do you know where we are?
I stayed up and I watched this live.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. All right.
You're a braver man, Niall.
Talk to us about it. Right. I'll tell you where you know. I know you are listening there. So we're at the bit where basically Solo had a good little promo with that too, and we're about to go into Ray Phoenix versus Axiom, right? However, tell me your feelings. Just get it off your chest.
You know when you get bad news, and you know when it hits you hard.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
This show last night felt like the AIDS of pro wrestling.
Jesus.
I grew up Hogan. I grew up on the Ultimate Warrior. I grew up on the Powers of Pain. I grew up on Demolition. I grew up on the Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation. I grew up on Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. I grew up on Triple H. I grew up on all these amazing wrestlers. The Rock, Stone Cold. If you want to put Undertaker and Mick Foley and Kane and all in there. I checked out of the SmackDown Motel this morning about 4 o'clock or 4:30, whatever time it was. Thank fuck this show is going back to 2 hours. It should go back to fucking half an hour at this stage.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Go on.
I left. I checked out of the SmackDown Motel this morning at about 1:30, and as I looked in my rear view mirror, as I drove away from the SmackDown Motel, the realization hit me that I just tuned into the Blue brand, the other half of WWE's universe, and I walk away thinking the highlight of the show was the 120-pound face-painted comedy skit backstage.
I said that. No, I said that.
Let's not. Are we gone beyond even talking about wrestling at this stage? Like what's the story here? And then they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity, and there is a video going to be dropping on this. They had an opportunity to complete Finn Balor's story, and they don't bother their arse.
Yep.
They don't bother their arse.
Yeah.
And is his story any less than Cody's story? It's so jarring. And then the stipulation I thought was going to be like a cage match or, you know, something that just equalizes Cody out, that he has an excuse for losing the belt next week, that like Gunther can just beat the living shit out of him and he can't escape and all this kind of thing. And what do I get? What do I get? I get special guest referee. And if getting a special guest referee is not bad enough, I get the fucking special guest referee. A nightmare. This isn't SmackDown. This isn't Nightmare. This is Freddy Krueger levels.
Right. Okay. Right. So come here. I totally agree with you on the Finn Balor thing. Right. I was going to say that. I've been a fan of Jey Uso recently and his work recently. I think he's been very good. However, this was Finn Balor's story, and he should have won it. Triple H is apparently he's a fan of long-term storytelling, and he had a massive opportunity. And I know you're dropping video.
Does it get any longer? Does it get any longer than 10 years? 2016, Finn Balor won the Universal title at SummerSlam, surrendered it the next night.
Almost.
How long storytelling does he need?
Almost to the day. They could do it almost to the. They could do it. They do it to the month. They could do it 10 years to the month, and it would have been perfect. Ending SummerSlam with him raising the title and being able to raise it with two hands and being able to raise it without pain. So I agree with you.
So now we have the bloodline back, and that's somewhat jarring, but somewhat okay. I'm a big fan of Jey Uso. I love Jey Uso.
Absolutely.
But like, are we gonna have now Bloodline Part 2 controlling SmackDown while Bloodline Part 1 controls Raw? Is this where this go? Are we gonna end up with two bloodlines now, and that's what's gonna send us into fucking War Games in November at Survivor Series, where we have the the bloodline versus the honorary bloodline or some bullshit like this now? Is this where we're going with this?
I wouldn't be surprised now.
Is this how low creative has fallen?
Okay.
Like, is this? It's just absolutely jarring. So jarring watching that last night. And I could see it unfolding. I knew what was coming. I could see it. Balor was never winning that match. It's so annoying, like, you know what I mean? And then,
so
it's just.
With that said, right? With that said, let's just go straight into it, right? Now that you're here, let's just. These are the brackets as they stand now, right? Does it even matter now to you? Do you even care to the point where you're like, you know what? Or like how do you call this? How does this go? Because I can tell you, I don't think it's going to be an all. I think Flair's beating Morgan. And I think that's.
Is that it's on SmackDown or Raw?
It doesn't matter. But what do you think, Niall?
I'd imagine Rodriguez and Sky is on Raw. I would imagine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But like it doesn't really matter now because it's just they've missed the opportunity to do what they want to do, and now it's just the same regurgitated garbage. This is the way this is going to play out. Brock's going to come back. He's either going to cost Obafemi in the semi-final with Mysterio, or he's going to cost Obafemi in the final. But it'll probably be the semi-final because then that leaves the path open then for Jey Uso versus Dom Mysterio. Because Jey Uso ain't going over if it's Obafemi. That's not believable in any stretch, shape, or form. And there's no reason for the bloodline to get involved in Brock's business. So it would make no sense. Forget about Javon Evans. That's not happening. He's had his moment. The fact that he's in the final four, he's had his moment. This is just gonna delve down into now hokery, pokery, jiggery crap now. Brock is going to come out. He's going to upend Obafemi, give him another 22 F5s. He's not going to go and do it in the final because he's not going to travel all the way to fucking Saudi just to hit 5 F5s and then fuck off back on the plane for another 14 hours. That ain't Brock Lesnar. He ain't doing that for no one, right? So he's obviously going to attack him whenever this match is. I presume it's next week on Raw or something, is it, or whatever it is. I don't know.
It is,
yeah. It is, yeah.
Okay, so Obafemi's going to get taken out this week on Raw. Dom is going to go through, or either Obafemi's going to go out and they crowbar in CM Punk or something like that. I don't know.
Well, okay.
Well, the thing about it is, Niall, can he afford another pin? Obafemi. Obafemi.
Well, he ain't going to be getting pinned. He's going to be getting upended and taken out.
So then that brings me to the rumors, right? I know we're kind of flowing through it now, right? So that brings me to the rumors. The rumors are. So like CM Punk, when he comes back, he's returning to SmackDown. However, the rumor I heard today was that it's going to be him and Cody at SummerSlam. I alluded to this earlier on in the show. The rumor now is it's Cody versus CM Punk at SummerSlam. So he was announced to return at the Fanatics thing on July 19th. So he's going to be back before then, obviously.
Even though he has fallen out with the company and everything and all, yeah, he's just announced for the Fanatics Fan Fest. How stupid are these fans on the internet? How fucking stupid are they?
I did a short on it. 100%. I'm telling you now. I said, lads, he's Elvis Presley. He's just taking a break. Yeah. That's all he's doing. 100%. We spoke about it on Pro Wrestling Weekly, and I did say maybe there's truth to the contractual thing, but it's irrelevant. He's taking a break, and yeah. So, but he goes up against Cody at SummerSlam. How do you feel about that booking?
Well, we know how this plays out.
How?
Like the fact that to tell you how far Cody has fallen, okay, and this is not hating on Cody because we all know it's fucking nosedived at this stage and it's undeniable in his own words.
Okay.
The fact that Sami Zayn is getting involved as the side hustle to this tells you just how jarring and how tired and how nauseating this top of the billing is at this stage. And it's not because of Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes is trying his best to force the company to turn him fucking heel, and they don't seem to want to push the button on it. So Cody Rhodes is more than capable. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's a great storyteller, but he's getting trapped at this top level in the company, and there's no way out, and it's fucking jarring, and it's devaluing him, it's devaluing the title, and it's devaluing the product and the program. It's just so like... You know what I mean? What's the point? Like, if Sami Zayn is not going to do something next week here that injects Sami Zayn into a title match, a King of the Ring, And if they don't put the belt on Sami Zayn, then what's the purpose of this? They fucked him at Money in the Bank. They fucked him at the Chamber or whatever it was that time in Canada. They didn't push the button on him when he was the honorary use. They did, like, are they gonna just bring him to the river again, not let him drink the water, lead us down the garden path, and then just doesn't get it? Or if he does get it, is he gonna just keep it for a month? Does he win it at Crown Jewel and then drop it again, or Night of Champions?
But then you're flip-flopping the title then, aren't you?
But how's he going to carry? Like, he's not going to carry it to Mania.
No,
he's not carrying it.
Because if you think it's bad now with Cody at the top, imagine how bad it's going to be then.
Yeah, look, I've said it for a while. I think it's going to Gunther, and I think Sammy's the cause of that. How do you get around that? It's a triple threat match. Everybody looks all right at the end of it, in terms of storytelling, wrestling standards, whatever. And I do think he's losing at Night of Champions, and it's going to go to Gunther. It's not going to Sammy. 100% not going to Sammy because of everything that you've just said there.
But how does it go to Gunther at Night of Champions if Gunther doesn't take it next week?
Because I think what happens is the shenanigans next week, somehow Gunther and Sammy push each other, something like that happens. And the shenanigans basically forces Sammy into the match. Then he goes nuts. All this says, well, I tell you what, you all have a problem with each other. Night of Champions, that's the match, and then that's how it goes down. That's my prediction, and that's what I predicted.
So next week we're getting the Kansas. Next week we're getting the Kansas screw job.
Yeah, WikiLeaks Wrestling Entertainment. I said it a couple of weeks ago. This is the prediction that I made a couple of weeks ago as well. I said it on Pro Wrestling Weekly. This is what's, in my opinion, this is what's going to happen. Now, look, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that's what's going to happen. And I think next week it's a bit of a screw job, a bit chaotic, a bit mad. I don't necessarily think Sami Zayn is going to side with Punk. Side with Cody or anything like that, but something's going to happen. They're going to push something stupid like that, and that's where you get your triple threat match, and that's how it happens. Next week will be much ado about nothing. Much ado about nothing. There's nothing changing next week. It'll just be another show full of segments, and that'll be the main. That'll be the main thing. And that's what we're in for next week, in my opinion.
So then, give me 2 hours of Danhausen every week, then, and then I'll be happy. Be done.
Let's
just forget SmackDown's a wrestling show. Let's treat SmackDown like, remember they used to do those WWE cartoons at one stage on the network. Let's go. Camp WWE or whatever. Let's just go full Danhausen for the fucking sake of it. Let's just do that, because there's really no point here, because nothing makes any sense. They're fucking clueless and they don't know what they're doing. It's all over the camp.
What about Orton? Dara says it here. What about Orton coming back?
Well, apparently he's supposed to be scheduled soon back anyway, like Drew McIntyre. So I don't know. Silence is deafening. Yeah, I was more interested in the USA game than SmackDown. I'm not saying that, you know.
There's a question there, Noel, in the SmackDown. Oh, just it's been open.
Not in the SmackDown chase. Is the penthouse suite. That's an open.
But that comment killed me as well. I couldn't bring that. Jesus, Acers. Jesus. All the negativity about SmackDown makes me feel like going to the fucking show live is pointless. No, Sharon, because the live show is an experience. If you can do it, do it. It's an experience. You're only annoyed about the ref because it's Sammy.
Yeah. Bren versus Keith, and Niall is a special guest referee.
I'd lose that twice on a Sunday, Anto. Virgil
Davis should just be asked for the release and join AEW. But the thing is, like,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Raquel versus Charlotte in the final. Yeah,
Charlotte's winning. I said it. Punk will return 6th of Raw, 6th of July in Chicago. Maybe could be onto something. Jay Cargill.
Jay Cargill will cost Charlotte in setting up a SummerSlam match. Do we really want to see that though? But okay. Sami Zayn only in this match at Night of Champions and gets pinned by Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
Lads, Cody is not going to drop it until SummerSlam, says Anto.
He's not.
So look, just on what you said about Jay's going for the US title, so I think that's that. So what do you think, right, lads? Cody he's not going to drop it till SummerSlam. Do you think that's a possibility, Noel? How do you feel about that?
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't be surprised next week if he drops it in Kansas. It's got so jarring now. It's got so toxic. What's SummerSlam? SummerSlam is what, 8 weeks away?
It's 7 weeks away? I think, is it? I think it's more. It's
early August, isn't it? Yeah, so it's probably about 7 weeks away. So we're going to have to endure another 7 weeks of this flip-flopping bullshit around for another 7 weeks. Are they going to push this so far until Netflix tells them to fuck off? They don't want SmackDown anymore on the platform or something. Like, how bad is this going to get? Like,
Right. So I know. Look, I said it at the start, Noel. This is really far fetched, and I know how you feel about the subject in itself. But Ribshot did give us a subject. Now, this is basically the slide, right? And it's just on what you're saying, all right. Obviously, SmackDown's not going to be axed completely, right? You're given the pencil tomorrow. You're given complete control. You change SmackDown. You clearly don't axe it. You just change it. Am I right?
yeah. Well, how can you
I
axe it?
mean, well, I mean, I when Ribshot said it last week, I kind of thought, well, if you're going to axe it, you could change it for something different. You could change it into a different name. SmackDown is highly related to The Rock, but the way he said it is one show, one roster, one night. Obviously, this is not going to happen. But how you feel about SmackDown right now? You're thinking, do you know what? Like you said,
It
are
needs
they
a
just waiting for
revamp, Brent. It needs
are
a
they waiting
revamp
for
from
Netflix to bin it?
It needs a
Well,
revamp.
So
they keep on talking about the issue with the star power on this show. So they
Mhm.
move Gunther over. They put him in a prominent position. He's in a storyline with Cody. Whatever way you feel about the special guest referee and all that fucking nonsense in 2026, right? Then they bring over Finn Balor. And the story is they wanted to get him away from the Judgment Day, to reset him, get him going, more star power, all that kind of stuff. And this is what they do. It's more of the same bullshit.
they had it on
It's
a plate.
more of the same absolute nonsense. I said it earlier and I said it in the thread. He is probably the most decorated wrestler on the planet at the moment. He is the guy who swept the floors of the New Japan dojo. He's the guy who took the long road in his career to get into professional wrestling. He is the guy in professional wrestling who put so many people over and was so selfless in himself.
Mm.
And this is how you get rewarded. You go over there and the storyline is set there to complete his story and run it back a fucking decade. A decade.
Perfect.
And what did
They
they
had it on
do?
a plate.
No, we're not going to do that. We're basically going to let the red brand bleed into the blue brand, and we're going to splatter the bloodline all over SmackDown as well as Raw. It's
Yeah.
just crazy.
Well, I think it's look. I do think it's a great thing that it's gone to 2 hours. The first SmackDown in July will be 2 hours long. I'll be honest with you, Noel. I said this to Keith before the show started. I found watching SmackDown a bit of a chore this week. I found it a bit of a chore, right? So I'm watching it, I'm taking notes, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I have to talk about this later. And I found it a bit of a chore. And one of the things that I kept, they need to cut this bleeding show down to 2 hours. You said half an hour, which I thought was
But
funny.
see, the timing doesn't matter. We just watched Raw, and we had a decent episode of Raw. I think everyone was in agreement that
Very
it was
good.
an enjoyable episode of Raw.
Yeah.
We watched it. There was elements of it that were really enjoyable and stuff like that and all. And then it's like they just spew their guts up and have a brain fart on the way to SmackDown. And this is not about 2 hours or 3 hours or fucking 23 hours. It doesn't matter. Creative in there is shit. They won't take a risk. It's more of the same. Special
100%.
guest referee. Get the fucking violin out. Many special guest referee bullshit storylines have we seen? Absolute fucking nonsense, right? And then you have Jey Uso, who was clearly going to go on now and win the King of the Ring. It's not going to be Javon Evans. It's not going to be Dominic Mysterio. He's going to lie down for Jey Uso. And Obafemi's going to get wiped out by Brock Lesnar. Or else, how do we go on the road? If Obafemi wins this, how do we arrive at Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi in Minneapolis? If Obafemi gets the crown and gets the shot, what's he going to do? Put the crown on ice like a Money in the Bank briefcase and go, okay, I'll deal with that at a later date, even though I won it and it's supposed to be relative. And now I'm going to switch to the guy I just called a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, how is this going to work? Like, how is this going to work? You're not going to put Brock Lesnar in his retirement match where he's going to retire properly in SummerSlam in Minneapolis. That's just not going to happen. It just makes no sense.
I'm also not I'm also not buying. I'm not buying for a second that Obafemi's working 2 nights. I'm not buying that. You said it. It was your point on Tuesday when we talked about the possibility of him doing a title match night 1 or on night 2 of SummerSlam or whatever. I don't buy that because I think either match is devalued. Brock Lesnar's retirement is devalued completely if they do that.
Work 2 nights. So these people actually think that Obafemi's going to go in and he's going to fight Roman Reigns, and then he's going to fight Brock Lesnar the next night. They may all fuck off the AEW then. It's a waste of fucking time.
100%.
How can you justify that? That's absolute nonsense. Even if it's Cody, and the only way you do the 2-nighter with Cody is if Brock Lesnar softens Obafemi up, and the reason he loses to Cody at SummerSlam, if Cody is the decision, is because he's been beat up on the way by Brock Lesnar on night 1. And Brock Lesnar's not going to be night 1. Brock Lesnar is going to be the last guy to walk out of that ring in Minneapolis. This is nonsense. This is nonsense.
But I think you've just laid it out, Niall. I think Jay is winning the King of the Ring. And actually, when I was watching, I was like, he's going to win it, isn't he? He's probably
like
win
Niall said, it's a wasted opportunity, and they should have given this to Finn Balor or someone different.
If Jey Uso goes on, wins the King of the Ring, and goes on and wins the belt, then it's very clear that there is only one QB1, and his name is Joe, and it's Roman Reigns, because it's not Cody Rhodes. It's definitely not Cody Rhodes, and I don't care what anyone argues about that. It doesn't matter, because he's the one who turned around and said, "Why don't you pop over to the Blue brand and go get that other belt off Cody?"
But Niall, the first time around Jay won the title, it was a flop. It wasn't the best. He didn't do great for it. You can see he wasn't ready for it. So what's the saying he's going to be ready for the second time?
What did I say 6 months ago on the podcast? I told you they would run that Jey Uso situation back again. That all he needed to do was settle in his head, get straightened out a little bit, stop having a few Steweisers and all that kind of thing. And now Jey Uso is on point. His promos are very good. His character work is very good. And now if he has the belt, he's going to be standing beside his pal, not on his own. It's going to be part of the bloodline. So Solo might be there. Jacob might be there. Whoever else they want to bring in as part of this, bloodline.
So that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about now. What did you make of that segment with Solo and Jacob backstage? Because I know you're a Solo fan. Are you in favor of this?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100%.
Do you want to go back?
Solo Sikoa at the moment on SmackDown is the most underutilized talent they have, with the exception probably of Finn Balor on that brand at the moment.
Yeah. I thought Solo's
phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought he was man of the hour on SmackDown. I thought everything he did on SmackDown was lightning.
Look at how good he was even in that King of the Ring match. He was awesome. Yeah. He was so good. The way he knits things together, his promo work, his facials, his psychology, everything that he does, he has it down. He has it down. And it's 100%. Just they've talent there and they just waste it. And they talk about needing star power. They bring the star power over and they fucking bin it off.
Well, look, there you go. Acers is in. There's more talks of roster changes after SummerSlam, but
exactly. Referee should be kept in the 2K26.
Exactly. 2020.
That's not going to happen, bonkers. There's no way Brock is going to tap out to go at SummerSlam. Not going to happen. Brock Lesnar will screw over Femi in the final. Night of Champions, Brock Lesnar will not turning down Saudi money. He's not going to turn down Saudi money for WrestleMania either next year. Let's be honest. The bad thing is with this creative is that there is good talent on SmackDown, but there is not being utilized good enough.
Actually, this is a creative thing. Do you know what this is now? This is Raw starting to hum again, and we're all happy about Raw. And SmackDown's over here, and creative are treating it like it's fucking Sunday Night Heat or Velocity. That's how they're treating it. Velocity was a better show. Go back and look at those old Velocity episodes. They produced much better. Remember we had London and Kendrick, we had the tag matches and all that kind of stuff. And all. This is horrific. This is as low a point as this gets.
Acer, stay with us for a few minutes because we're going to talk about the World Cup in a few minutes because there's a couple of things that we want to get across. So do stay with us.
Cody does not have 100 Samoans to back him up. Of course, he can't do the same work as the Bloodline. There is so many of them. Look, it's getting a bit jarring now. I think with this whole Simones and the whole bloodline thing. I just think they don't really have creative ideas outside of the whole bloodline for me. It just seems like they just want to focus everything around the whole two shows about the bloodline. I don't know if you
So
think the
just
same
so,
way.
just to conclude on SmackDown for me, right? I thought it was a bit of a chore, right? Honestly, I thought it was a bit of a chore. I thought I had some good moments, but I thought it was a bit of a chore. Solo Sikoa was the star of the show for me. Of course, I like Cody and Sammy. I know you weren't a fan of it. Um, but overall, it was a bit of a chore to watch. Keith, what did you think of SmackDown overall?
Like, it wasn't the best, to be honest with you. Look, I had my doubts about a lot of the things. I'm not enjoying the Trick Williams and Ricky Saints stuff, to be honest with you. I
Mhm.
don't think he needs to be a part of that. Personally, he needs to get away from it. Just have Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams,
Yeah,
the two of them together will be phenomenal. Keep that going until SummerSlam because those two know how to work with each other. And as we said before, Trick Williams is a star in the making. He's doing a very good job over there. And he's one of the very few people that's keeping us tuned into watching SmackDown. Let's be
But
honest.
that's the reason, Kate, they're putting Ricky Saints with him because they're trying to draw people in to get involved and interested in Ricky Saints. So they're
It's
putting
not
him with
working
what we
though.
perceive as being the overguidement. Well, you have to give it a bit of time. I
Yeah,
think you have to give
yeah.
it a bit of time. I think with Ricky Saints, it's going to need a bit of time. I think what they've done, and they've messed up here as well, they've shotgunned a load of people up off NXT, and they didn't really have a fucking plan for them. And that's the truth.
No.
That's the truth
I,
as well.
I like what
And
they're doing with Julia as well because I'm a big fan of Julia's. I like to see what they're going to do with her.
but she's out. But it's the same lazy. It's the same lazy creative again. She's now feuding with her buddy. She went in.
Yeah,
She got the hair dyed blonde. Changed back to the gimmick that everyone loved, and now she's feuding with her buddy. It's the oldest. It's the oldest lazy creative in the book. Like
I know.
it's
I know.
madness. And what they'll do is no one will be interested in that. They'll drop it on its arse because let's be truthful here. They see Joan James as being the star in that situation because she was the one who was getting pushed while the other one was acting like a valet. So it's nonsense that she changed up her gear. She changed up her gear and changed up her hairstyle and went back looking the way she used to look. And then everyone went, "Oh, we got the old Julia back." Because what, she dyed her hair blonde, got her haircut, and changed her ring gear. What are we about here? Like, you know what I mean? Well, clearly the other one is the one they think is a star who has been, front and center, while Julia has stood beside her in the background, even when she had the US belt. It's
I still think
mental.
she's very. I think she's very talented, though, Niall. I really do like
I'm
Julia.
not denying her talent at all. What I'm saying is, it's
Yeah,
not whether me or you think it's talented. They're not going to give a fuck in 4 weeks, and it'll
yeah.
just melt away like everything else that they do. They won't give it time to settle. They won't give the crowd a chance to get on board with it, and they'll just go fuck off. And that's what happens, and it just melts away like everything else. And we're brought to the river. And again, as WWE fans, we're not allowed to dip our head in and take a fucking drink of water like a horse. It's nonsense. I'm
Yeah,
done.
look, this
Like,
to
I
finish.
just so Joey. You know what I mean? This is like,
I have to
no.
say though, to finish up on SmackDown though, look, I think overall this show needs a serious revamp from top to bottom. It also needs a CM Punk. It really does need a CM Punk to get the show even a bit more interesting, in the slightest, that much more interesting.
just
But
take Keith, just take the stars of the show and present them into storylines and on TV
proper
like
storylines,
they're
yeah,
fucking stars. That's
yeah,
all it takes. It's not rocket science here. It's
yeah.
just they're fucking fannying around with bullshit, throwing stuff at the wall and see will it stick. And in the meantime, their heads are thinking, "Oh, what are we going to do for Monday Night Raw?" Because this is just now main event. This is the fucking speed title. We don't
Yeah.
even we used to think that like Dynamite and Collision were competing with NXT. Now NXT is above. Now NXT is the second brand. Now they're competing with SmackDown. This is how bad this has got. Let's bring over all this star power because we're lacking star power. Randy Orton must be sitting in his fucking swimming pool in one of those blow up lounger fucking yachts going, fuck that if you think I'm going back to that kind of bullshit. Thanks very much. See you later. I'm not getting on a flight for 14 hours to Saudi Arabia for you to send me out there in a black fucking hoodie and hit a fucking RKO on someone. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing it. And they're all saying,
Oh, I'll be
same
back.
the same. It's all right. I'll just stay in the gym here getting juice to the gills on TRT. I ain't going back there to be fucked up again by these lads for no reason at all. You want me to go into
Oh,
a title?
Jesus.
You want me to go into a title thing with Cody fucking Rhodes so you can make me look like fucking shit? No, thanks. I'm all right here. I'm grand where I am. It's all good. Thanks, TKO. I'm on holidays. You know what I mean? Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is probably hitting up his age ago. When can we do Highlander 2? Fuck this bullshit. When are we doing Highlander 2? I'm available now. How many of these guys are fucking in Tony Khan's DMs at the moment? This is bullshit.
Sorry, Keith. I have two questions for you, Niall. Right, very. First of all, when is that Finn Balor video dropping? Because I want to watch it as soon as it drops.
It'll
right?
tomorrow. It'll be out
tomorrow. Look, very much looking forward to it. The other question is he all right? Okay.
I'm fucking sound, yeah. I'm sound. I'm a little bit tired. I've been burning the candle at both ends. I've been like, you know, you know, and I put the upper in the upper tier, you know what I mean? So this is how it goes, you know.
Well, I suppose that brings us to the next slide. You are going to be live once again tonight for Brazil versus Morocco. So tonight, everybody, what time are you going live at, Niall?
I'm going live at a quarter. It's 11 o'clock kickoff. I'll be live at about a quarter to 11 to bring you the showcase of the World Cup, which will be Brazil versus Morocco, which I think is going to be an amazing match. A truly main event. So join in for that. And if you want to talk to me more about SmackDown or Sami Zayn and how great fucking wrestling is at the moment, no problem. We could talk about it. It's all good during the watch along. It's a free for all and have the crack. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to be up till about 1 o'clock covering that match. And then I might have a chat about fucking Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall. More contrived bullshit that I don't need to be tuning into. And then I might even slide into the fucking White House to have a look at UFC Freedom, which will be live from about 1 or 2 o'clock, where I can see Donald Trump sit in front of a fucking octagon. What are we doing here? Like, what is this world become?
Welcome to 2026. Speaking of burning the candle at both ends, Niall will be doing all of these matches. Check the channel. There'll be so much more. But on top of that as well, Niall will not be alone during some of these. Our colleague Dave will be joining. By the way, I must say he's doing some stellar work in the background. So, Dave, I know you're probably in the air on your way back to Scotland. So, fair play to him.
I posted a few shorts on Instagram. Let's not get carried away. You know what I mean?
Right, but he's got to be joining you on.
I do love you, Dave. I do love you.
He's got to be joining you on some of those matches. So, look, upper tier channel, check out the matches that are up and coming, right? Because Niall is going to be doing a watch along on some of them, and I have a feeling that every now and again, myself or Keith is going to pop into 1 or 2 of the matches as well, which will be great crack. So keep an eye on them. The times all up on the channel. But certainly make sure you're there tonight. But that's not all. On Tuesday, this Tuesday, not to drop a grenade, we will be live for Pro Wrestling Weekly this Tuesday, 8 o'clock, and it's gonna be a crack.
Niall,
Did you notice the colours I used for the text as well? The blue and white brand. They can go fuck themselves.
No, are we expecting another nuke on Tuesday, or what are we expecting?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, let's just see. Let's just see how Raw goes.
If you have any more suggestions about football matches for watch along, so I can avoid wrestling shows, please send them to me. Send them to me. I never thought I'd be so excited about fucking international football. My God.
You've got a match in the league in Azerbaijan. Noel will cover it. We'll get to the bottom of it. But either way, the point of all this is check out the channel. There's more and more content. There's one more thing I want to touch on, and then obviously Keith will then close out with the thing, with the comments. Last thing I'll touch on is last week we kind of half announced the show that's coming up right now. It's not coming up this week. It's called the Attitude Era. It's different than all other Attitude Era shows. We know that's been done to death, right? So we're going to drop some teasers on it. The official date we will be doing that is a week after the World Cup. 1 week after, 7 days after the World Cup, I think it's so the World Cup final. 26th of July, I think it is. Sunday the 26th of July, myself and Keith will be live on the Attitude Era show. It is different than any other Attitude Era show you've ever watched. I promise you that. Join us. It's a limited edition show. We will be doing 8 episodes. 8 episodes. That's it. And then we're done and dusted. Join us. 26th of July. It's going to be a cracker. There'll be teasers in between then. So that's what I'll say about that. Other than that, keep an eye on the channel because of shorts, everything that I've just mentioned. And more wrestling content. I'll probably drop a few shorts tomorrow. And please, whatever you're doing tomorrow, just watch the Finn Balor short video tomorrow from Niall. I'm definitely going to be tuning in. So that's the announcements for the channel. Keith, I apologize for jumping in there.
Look, let's just finish it off with a bit of comments so we can wrap it up so Niall can actually cool down a bit after that. Holy God, Niall, take a breath before you pass out. That's why Drew is currently in Boston with Scotland squad. Look, get the fuck out of here, Brad.
Ripshaw has a question for you, Niall.
Have you checked your league?
I haven't.
I
The
assumed-
fantasy league. That sounds like Ripshot, you're on top, are you, or something like that? I don't know. Dano's going to send me an update, but he's at a wedding all weekend, so I probably won't get an update till tomorrow or Monday or something like that. But I haven't got access to it. I don't do fantasy football. It's the boys who look after that. Yeah, if fantasy football now.
We'll have an update on one of the watch-alongs or else Pro Wrestling Weekly on Tuesday anyway. We'll have a definite update then.
UFC is the Sunday night. Are you doing a watch-along for that as well, Niall, or are you just going to watch it?
What I just call Sunday night, I call Monday morning.
Oh, well then, yeah, you're on work then Monday morning.
So that answers that. No, this is like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock Monday morning.
No, yeah. It's a football show. I keep bringing wrestling into them. I forget myself in what show.
It doesn't matter, Sharon. It's all the same channel. We can talk about that you want. It's all cool.
Bohemians versus Dundalk on Friday night. No, I scheduled to send this WhatsApp.
I did a double watch along last night. I had Shells versus Shamrock Rovers, which was really, really good. And then I had to endure fucking Canada versus fucking
I hear that was diabolical, by the way.
Bosnia. Fuck's sake. I can see why Bret Hart is a bitter old fuck.
I've been to Montreal. Not Montreal. I've been to Calgary. Not like it's quite grim over there. So you know what I mean. You think Blanche is bad? Head over to Calgary.
Well, look, lads,
did you head over to the dungeon to get stretched out or anything?
No. And actually, I think within the same time frame, it was in around Bret Hart was near O'Connell Street or something like that. Of course, he was something like that. Something stupid. I don't even want to talk about it. So, FML. Anyway, Keith, sorry.
Well, look, lads, it was great chatting to you about SmackDown and Noah's big, massive rant as well. I can't wait to see his video tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely it's brilliant. Well, look, as always, please tune in for the watch along tonight with Niall. I'll be part of it as well, watching the match. Hopefully, be a good match as well. And please tune in for the further watch along matches. They're going to be stellar for the World Cup. We'll have so many coming our way for the next 6 weeks? Is it this World Cup?
It's endless.
Something like that.
I'm just podcasting every fucking day at this stage. It's
But
like
also,
fucking Big Brother. I should just set the webcam in the corner, go fucking live and just leave it live. Don't even bother switching it off like at this stage. You know what I mean?
Cracker.
Please tune in for Tuesday as well for the weekly show as well. It's going to be a stellar one. Let's see if Niall bursts another blood vessel. We'll see and see if that happens.
They're all good.
But look, as always, lads, thanks very much for chatting into us, and we'll see you later on. God bless.